The weight just means you're going to be a fat tank, big, and I'm going to beat you up even more. That's
the weight just means you're going to be a fat tank, big, and I'm going to beat you up even more. That's
the whole question, because that is something that's need to be said or need to be responded to, and I think that the way I see it is when you have a rehydration clause, it's showing that Tank is worried under the disguise of I'm not worried. When you make the weight, basically, I look at it as you made the damn weight. Now, when you gotta say, well, I know you made the weight, but I want you to weigh this 4 hours later, you need to weigh this 24 hours later. Now it becomes something else. What advantages you looking for? Well, Bernard, fair game. You know, you do this. No. You know what fair game is? You get on the scale. We fight at 160 for my undisputed middleweight championship. You get on the scale, and I get on the scale, and we make that weight. That's the weight we agreed to. But now when you start saying to make this fight happen, for you to make this fight happen, and I want to prove my greatness, because I believe I'm already great. That's what Tank is saying, really. This is just certified, stamp of approval. Then I wouldn't be worrying about too much how much you weigh. I just want you to weigh what you agreed upon, and now we can go ahead and fight. I don't want any excuses that you had to cut this weight, you had to weigh this 24 hours, you get another weigh-in to make sure you didn't rehydrate up to whatever you rehydrate up to. Because to me, the weight doesn't make you better than me. The weight doesn't make you less better than me. The weight just means you're gonna be a fat tank, big, and I'm gonna beat you up even more. That's how I think. I'm old school. But I believe when people see this interview, they will see that I'm not bashing one guy, another guy. I'm just telling you from a mental mind game, think I'm getting advantage mentality of certain people that want the fight or force to answer the call. In this case is the second one. To answer the call, I'm going to put all these incentives so you will say no to it, and then I can go somewhere else. So now when you have these things called concessions, and you're not checking them off saying, well, I'm definitely not going to do that. Ryan didn't do that. See, nobody's interviewing on, you know, Ryan gave up a lot of stuff that, hey, he really didn't have to give up. Why do you think he done that? He dared to be great. We talk it. We might even fantasize about it. But how many people really mean it? Now we're going to see.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So what you just heard was the legend, retired Hall of Fame, iconic superstar boxer, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins, B-Hop the Alien, whichever you so choose to refer to him as, right? He weighs in. Bernard Hopkins is the co-promoter with Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar de la Hoya, and his fighter is undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, who is 23 wins, no losses, no draws, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. Ryan Garcia is going into the biggest fight of his career, which is going to be April 22nd, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, and it's going to be against undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay, Gervonta Tank Davis, he has a record of 28 wins, no losses, no draws, 26 big wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. Now, obviously, they're going to do some promoting of the fight. They have to build up the fight, the storyline, and things of that nature. But at times, people feeling like Bernard Hopkins is crossing the line. Gervonta Tank Davis, he has nothing but respect for Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins clearly is not happy about the way the negotiations went, and he's not happy about the stipulations that Gervonta Tank Davis put on Ryan Garcia, as far as to making the fight happen, right? He feel like he made Ryan Garcia jump through hoops and hurdles to make the fight, and he put some expectations on Ryan Garcia, some stipulations on Ryan Garcia, should I say, that Bernard Hopkins said that he may not have went with in his career, and he don't like it, right? Which is most importantly, the rehydration clause, right? That Ryan Garcia can't gain more than 10 pounds after he weighs in at the contractual weight, obligated weight, and agreed upon weight of 136. So he has 10 pounds the next day. He could gain up to 146 as his max. And Bernard Hopkins is not happy about that. Oscar De La Hoya wasn't happy about it. But Ryan Garcia, he's out to be great. He's out to prove a point. And to many people's surprise, they thought that Ryan Garcia was capping. And Ryan Garcia, he decided that, you know what? I'm going to go above and beyond to make this fight happen. And that's exactly what he's done, right, thus far. And so, Bernard Hopkins not being happy. He takes shots at Gervonta Tank Davis. They did a photo shoot. I don't know if it was after one of the press conferences or when did they schedule this photo shoot for Showtime for promotional purposes, right? For the banners and for commercials and advertisements. And in one of the photos, is from Gervonta Tank Davis's left side. He's standing sideways, and it looks like he has a slight pot belly, right? And so obviously, Ryan Garcia uses it as ammunition and motivation, and to poke at Tank Davis. And Bernard Hopkins is saying that Tank Davis is fat, right? He said fat Tank is going to get beat up, is what Bernard Hopkins said, right? Now, and this is Bernard Hopkins complaining because he's upset about the rehydration clause, right? But Bernard Hopkins is misspeaking, right? He's emotionally speaking, right? And salute to Bernard Hopkins, no disrespect to Bernard Hopkins, but he's misspeaking, right? And he's speaking out of emotion because he's upset about the way the negotiations played out. And so for him to say that Tank Davis, fat Tank, is going, well, if Tank Davis is the one putting a rehydration clause on both guys, okay? Because to my understanding, both guys cannot gain more than 10 pounds, okay? So this rehydration clause, it just doesn't apply to Ryan Garcia. It also applies to Gervonta Tank Davis as well, okay? And so since it applies to Gervonta Tank Davis as well as it applies to Ryan Garcia, well, that means Tank Davis cannot gain more than 10 pounds. So that means that Tank Davis cannot be what he quote-unquote called fat Tank, because Tank Davis has to be in shape and has to be on point as well to make the weight, right? So I don't see, Bernard, again, like I said, I can see if Tank wanted to, extend the weight, then you would understand, well, Tank Davis may be out of shape and he wants to be at a higher weight. But the fact that Tank Davis wants it at a lower weight, well, that indicates that Tank Davis will be in shape, right? And I think that photo that surfaced of Tank that Showtime took, I think is misleading, right? I think it's just the angle to which, Tank Davis was caught in that specific angle. And I think that, it definitely is misleading to what Gervonta Tank Davis actually looks like, because when I see other photos of Gervonta Tank Davis, I don't see Gervonta Tank Davis out of shape at all, right? So I think that this is just a photo that showed, a bad angle of Gervonta Tank Davis, and I think that Bernard Hopkins is emotionally speaking, right? Don't get me wrong, in between fights in the past, Gervonta Tank Davis had ballooned up in weight, but in this specific situation, he has not ballooned up in weight, right? He's actually, his past couple of fights, his fight with Hector Garcia, which was January 7th, he was in shape. His fight prior to that with Rolando Rolly Romero, he was in shape. Again, like I said, in the past, Gervonta Tank Davis had weight loss camps. But currently, Gervonta Tank Davis has not had weight loss camps. So Bernard Hopkins is emotionally speaking right now. He's frustrated, but they're going to get the fight. So I understand Bernard Hopkins' standpoint, being an old school fighter, being a fighter himself that was always disciplined, always in shape, always at the best of his abilities. I understand his frustration, right? With the fact that, like he said, he don't like the whole as he called it, the dehydration clause, right? Because he feels like, this is not a rehydration clause, it's a dehydration clause, is forcing Ryan Garcia to stay dehydrated, right? So, and that being his fighter and he being an old school mentality, I understand his frustration. But, this is the way the sport of boxing is. It just is what it is. So, again, like I said, I believe Bernard Hopkins is just emotionally speaking, calling Tank Davis fat. And, obviously he's going to pull for his fighter. So let's see how this unfolds. I can't wait till April 22nd. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.